Hello comic book guys and gals, and welcome to Comic Mag Musings. I'm your host, Bill Miller. Welcome to another vlog. This one is a new series. The first series we did was Fantastic Four, issues 1 through 5. We are shifting to DC with this second series, and we will be reading Aquaman, issues 1 through 5. Now, Aquaman started out in the Golden Age in More Fun Comics number 73 in 1941. He made his first Silver Age appearance in 1959 in Adventure Comics number 260. I wanted to start with Aquaman number 1, even though that wasn't his first appearance, just to keep him consistent with the other issues that we've read previously. That way we're not just reading a backup story from an issue, but that character is in his or her own title, and we have a full issue that we can read. So, turn the volume up just a hair, turn the lights down a smidgen, sit back, relax, and let your imagination paint the pictures as we read Aquaman, issue number 1. So on the cover, both Aquaman and Aqualad are fighting fire trolls. It says, now in a magazine of his own, Aquaman, featuring the King of the Seven Seas and his young ally, Aqualad. A thrilling 3-part novel, The Invasion of the Fire Trolls. Keep dodging, Aqualad. Those fire trolls are trying to give us an underwater hot foot. On the first page, Aquaman and Aqualad are riding on the backs of whales underwater. And it says, Aquaman and Aqualad, Chapter 1. They came from a fiery world, a world within the interior of a volcano. And like volcanoes, they erupted in a rage of fury and flame. Only those mighty lords of the sea, Aquaman and Aqualad, dared defy them. For only these two, with the help of a strange water gnome, could hope to repel the invasion of the fire trolls. And that water gnome says, surely my friends Aquaman and Aqualad know that even mighty whales are no match against the fury of the fire trolls. And we begin chapter 1. In their undersea lair, Aquaman and his young ally Aqualad are spending a relaxing morning at their chores. I've been meaning to saw away the ragged edges of this old ship's figurehead for a long time. Editor's note. After long exposure to undersea living, Aquaman and Aqualad, like the Atlanteans, have developed the ability to transmit and translate speech sounds in water. And it's time I assembled this dinosaur fossil for our private museum. Suddenly, strange things start happening. What? Topo's tentacles are being tied into knots, but Topo can't be doing it. He's as surprised as I am. And Aquaman is referencing an octopus. Now the wooden figurehead is upside down and bouncing around like a pogo stick. And great guppies, the fossil's starting to dance. What goes on around here? Then a fantastic little figure pops out of hiding. Hee hee, sorry, but I couldn't resist using my powers to play some pranks. Hee hee. It's a little man, only 2 feet high. What are you? Can't you guess? My name is Quisp, and I'm a water sprite, of course. Zooks, my memory, I almost forgot my mission. You see, we sprites live in a secret sea beneath the bed of your oceans. In our undersea domain, there is a submerged volcano which suddenly erupted because of a fissure. Look, giant shapes emerging from the volcano. And we're taken to their secret sea. They are the fire trolls, ogres who live within the volcano's fiery world. We tried to use our unique powers on the terrible invaders, but it's no use. They are too strong. They can ward off our powers. We must flee. The trolls are free to destroy, and we cannot stop them.
Only I did not flee when I saw that the fissure had also smashed an entrance into your world, too. The fire trolls may emerge here. That is what I came to warn you about.
We're certainly grateful, Quisp. Just then,
Zooks! The fire trolls, they're here. Jumping catfish, I don't know how we'll ever stop those giants, but we've got to try.
Like swift minnows, Aquaman and Aqualad dart between the legs of the ogres. This tangle of tough seaweed may anchor them down for a little while.
With luck, this might work.
But a moment later,
golly, our luck ran out awfully fast. Now what?
We keep trying. Swimming off, the pair soon returns atop mammoth mounts. Now they're riding on the backs of whales. Now let's see what those trolls can do against a foe their own size.
This is what I call a whale of an idea.
Obeying a command of the Sea King, the Leviathans ram headlong into the colossal trio. But swiftly recovering, the fire trolls strike back with volcanic fury. Flames that can burn underwater like acetylene torches. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh.
They're too hot for our whales.
And the whales hightail it out of there. Keep dodging, Aqualad. If those flames ever touch us, we're finished. Finally, when they manage to take cover amid some coral.
Look, the fire trolls are starting up toward the surface.
Luckily for us, they're slow swimmers. We'll beat them up there on our dolphins and spread the warning.
Upon surfacing, hey, wait for me. Uh-oh, we've got company.
And as they're taking off on the dolphins, the little Quisp, the water sprite, wants to join them. From their direction, I'd say the trolls should surface at that island. It's to be a U.S. rocket missile base when construction is finished.
We'd better talk to the construction boss fast.
Shortly, when Aquaman explains the emergency,
there are only a few armed soldiers on this base. We've got some rockets on hand, but the launchers haven't been shipped here yet.
Then alert the troops. I'll take care of the rockets. Swiftly, defense plans are ready, and when the undersea attackers emerge, crack, crack, they're firing rifles at the fire trolls.
No use. Bullets don't even faze them. It better scoot back, boys. It's up to Aquaman. He says he's got a way to use the rockets.
At Aquaman's telepathic SOS, flying fish launch the rockets to their targets. Bombs away, our surprise aerial attack may stop them yet. As explosive shocks hit them, the fire trolls undergo an astonishing transformation.
The explosives haven't shattered them, but are having a strange effect just the same. The bodies of the trolls are shrinking, becoming ball-shaped. Boom, boom.
But the instant the bombardment stops, the circular shapes swell and return to normal. By condensing their mass, the trolls made their bodies so hard they became bomb-proof.
That means the trolls are unbeatable. Looks like they're having a war conference.
And they're looking off as the trolls are huddled up amongst one another. They seem to be interested in the buildings around here. I wonder why. Abruptly, the fire trolls advance like so many flamethrowers. For some reason, they're heading for the buildings and don't intend to be blocked by anything in their way. Run! As the fire trolls spew fire, burning military equipment en route to the building. Upon grouping away from the immediate danger, listen. Because the trolls live in a fiery volcano, they must thrive on heat, so perhaps they could be weakened by intense cold.
You're thinking of that scientist we read about, who's experimenting with a chemical that freezes things. But his lab is on the mainland.
We'll have to get to the mainland fast.
This is where I come in. You forget I have great powers with water.
At the sprite's instructions, they board a rubber life raft, and then the unbelievable happens.
Suffering sea lions, water's moving up under us.
The great column of liquid rises higher, higher, and then swirls forward at fabulous speed.
Great Neptune, Quisp has made a waterspout.
But two passengers are not exactly overjoyed at their dizzying mode of transportation.
Whee! Isn't this fun? Ooh, somebody get me off this merry-go-round, please.
Soon the water column gradually collapses, gently depositing the passengers near the mainland. You little scamp, I'll bet you are combining business with pleasure, you and your pranks.
Some people just don't have a sense of humor.
Afterward, upon explaining their mission to the scientist,
I'm afraid this spray tank holds all the freeze solution I've made so far.
That's only a small amount, and the trolls are so big, but it will have to do. Presently, under the sprite's power, a great wave speeds them back to the island.
Look, the trolls have been ripping the roofs off the buildings.
They seem to be examining the interiors, as if they're searching for something. But what? On landing,
Aquaman, will that stuff work on the trolls?
I hope so. If it doesn't, we're all goners. Chapter 2. Armed with the one weapon that can stop the colossal invaders, Aquaman gets set for battle, unaware that he and Aqualad will soon be fighting against their greatest enemy, time, for a strange twist of fate leaves them with only 1 hour to doom. Get back, Aqualad. I'll try to parry the thrust of the scorpion's deadly stinger. And they seem to be fighting a huge scorpion. Its stinger coming perilously close to Aquaman and Aqualad, and Aquaman swatting away its thrusts with a long wooden javelin-style stick. Moving forward, Aquaman realizes the fire trolls are watching him curiously. Quisp, we've got to take them by surprise. You carry the tank, while Aqualad and I try to divert their attention. At Aquaman's telepathic summons, an army of crabs marches from the sea to annoy the trolls. The crabs' pinchers can't hurt them, but at least the trolls will take their eyes off the sprite. And as more assistance arrives, these starfish carried up by turtles can cling to the trolls, keeping them still busier.
Uh-oh, 2 trolls have decided that one of them can handle us while they go on about their business.
He's coming right for us. Okay, Quisp, let him have it. Instantly, a fine spray of the freeze solution is shot at the fire troll, but
forget it. This stuff barely stings them. Those trolls have such a high body temperature, we need a much larger supply of solution to really freeze them.
As the troll slaps at his stung hand, sending droplets of the solution in all directions.
Oh, my legs. They're numb with cold.
Mine too. That stuff is paralyzing.
Aquaman, I can't move.
I can't either, and that troll is coming right at us.
Dear me, that troll is about to crush my friends. Must help them with a beam of my power.
Abruptly,
What's happening to us?
We're shrinking. Just as suddenly, the ogre's huge fist slams down, only to miss the now tiny figures. Wham! And as the colossal troll inhales the cloud of dust, achoo! Yeah! Like 2 leaves, the minute pair hurtles on the blast of wind, finally to float to the ground.
What a ride, but at least the troll didn't get us, thanks to the water sprite.
Yes, but did he have to make us so small to do it?
Golly, we can't be more than 3 inches high.
That sprite, even while saving our lives, he just couldn't resist another prank.
Trouble is, I feel weakness setting in.
Yes, in the excitement, we forgot to renew our strength in water. We can't stay away from water more than 1 hour, and we're reaching the end of our time limit.
The ocean can't be more than 500 yards away, but to us now, it looks more like 5 miles.
We could never make it in time by walking. We'd better summon some seagulls to carry us there. But after long moments,
what's delaying them?
I'm afraid we're so tiny now, our telepathic message is too weak to go such a long distance. Our only hope now is to keep walking, and hope we find water somewhere. Onward they move warily, past flowers looming like trees, over pebbles like boulders, when suddenly, look out, a scorpion. Okay, so it's not a giant scorpion. He's extremely tiny. Duck, that stinger in its tail is poisonous.
It's still after us.
And we can't keep running forever. I'll try to discourage it with one of these sharp nettles. Armed with a sword, Aquaman valiantly parries the thrust of the deadly stinger. My fencing lessons are finally paying off. Touché! And as the wounded insect withdraws, all that exertion weakened me still more.
We'd better find water fast.
On they trek until...
Look, an army jeep. There'll be water in its radiator.
You're right. Come on. Heartened, they begin scaling the vehicle. Notice those tools. The jeep must have stalled, and the driver was about to make repairs when the trolls showed up and frightened him away.
Right now, all I can think about is water.
Eagerly, they clamber over the hood to the radiator, but the radiator cap. In our tiny state, we don't have the strength to turn it.
Oh no! It's not fair, not fair! Water, and we can't even get at it.
And there comes more trouble. A lizard. And peering down from atop the jeep is what looks to them to be a huge lizard. As the dragon-like reptile leaps. That's it. By splitting up, we've got the thing confused. Now, quick, follow me. Luckily, we're so light we won't land too heavily. Besides, the padding of the front seat will help break our fall. So they jump inside the jeep.
The lizard's not giving up on us yet, and I'm too weak to run anymore.
We'll have to make a stand here. This open toolbox. Regular pliers would be too heavy for us, but not a pair of wire strippers. Armed with their unique weapon, they wait until the reptile leaps down and then, now! They snap his mouth shut with wire strippers. Discouraged by such strange tactics, the lizard hastily retreats. Having his nose pinched took the fight out of him, but that bout also took the starch out of me. Don't give up yet, fella. With this tool, we've now got a chance to loosen that radiator cap. After much hauling and straining, it's turning. The cap's turning.
At last, we'll have water, and just in time. I can't hold out much longer.
Tying string to the opening, Aquaman descends only to reappear with heartbreaking news. The radiator is empty. That's why the jeep stalled, only the driver didn't know it.
Empty? No water? We've been through all that trouble for nothing. Now, we're really finished.
Chapter 3 of The Sinister Secret of the Fire Trolls. Death awaits Aquaman and Aqualad, and death too awaits the entire world. But only the two sea heroes can prevent it. Only they are able to take on this titanic task when they finally learn the master plan and the sinister secret of the fire trolls.
So far, Aquaman has managed to guide the flying fish through that web of fire. Now, Quisp, the rest is up to you. Okay, keep your fingers crossed.
Without water to renew their ebbing strength, Aquaman and Aqualad face certain doom when a pelican with a wriggling fish in its mouth. The bird must have just scooped it up from the sea. Hastily, Aquaman strips off his shirt. The pelican is not only sharp-eyed, but also has a great sense of curiosity. Ah, it's seen me. We've got a chance now. As the inquisitive bird comes down for a closer look, the sea sovereign gathers up his ebbing strength and... This won't hurt you much, friend, but it will make you indignant, I hope. Startled, the irate pelican opens his great mouth to squawk protestingly, so that,
water, water.
So Aquaman threw the radiator cap at the pelican, and he dropped the fish as well as the water that he had scooped up. We've got our strength back now, but that pelican looks very angry. Let's move, fast. Just in time, they shimmy down into the radiator opening. The pelican will realize he can't get his big mouth through that narrow opening. He'll retrieve his food and take off. So they use that string that they had previously used to get into the radiator. They jump through the hole knowing that the pelican couldn't follow them through the hole in the radiator. Soon, when a pelican scoops up a fish from the sea, he always gets some water along with it. There was just enough water in his big bill to revive us.
I feel great. Now we can easily reach the ocean in time, renew our strength, and get the sprite to return us to normal size.
A short while later, however,
somebody lost his sunglasses, and, say, aren't they smaller than they should be?
They certainly are, if we're only 3 inches high, but are we? Look about you. In our hurry, we never noticed that things were gradually getting smaller. We're growing.
Great Neptune! Then the shrinking effect was only temporary.
Thus, by the time they reach the sea, it's a normal Aquaman and Aqualad who renew their strength. And then, Quisp, we don't see the fire trolls anywhere on the island. How come?
I'm so glad you're back. I've got terrible news. Wait till I tell you what happened. After you disappeared, the trolls tore open a building and did a strange thing.
They took all the rockets they could find. That's why they were ripping open all the buildings. They were searching for rockets.
I'll trail the trolls and see what they're up to.
So Quist and one of the military contractors on the island were watching the trolls grab the rockets.
Staying close behind them, I watched and overheard them.
We cannot bring these weapons down into our fiery world, for the heat would make them explode. So we will hide them here among the thick weeds.
Good, then we will search other surface lands for more explosives like these until we have a huge supply.
And soon we will use the explosives to smash open other submerged volcanoes where other fire trolls are confined.
But more than that, the eruptions everywhere will release heat from the core of the earth and cause fissures everywhere. All surface lands will become gigantic infernos, and we shall become masters of this planet. I could imagine what would happen. The chaos, the terrible heat, it would be the end of mankind.
Unless we defeat those trolls, the world is doomed.
But you've got a plan to stop them, haven't you? Isn't that why you went away, to work out a plan?
Are you kidding? You know very well you used your power to shrink us. You just had to pull another one of your pranks.
But I didn't. If you shrank, it wasn't my doing. I only sent a beam of power to repel you away from the foot of the troll.
Great Neptune. If that's so, then I can't thank you enough for the trouble you've helped put us through, Quist.
What?
Presently, the water sprite returns to where the fire trolls are caching the rockets, and...
Haha, you big bullies won't be putting the heat on anybody anymore, because you'll all be too cold. Ha ha ha. They brought a huge supply of freeze solution stored on that island you just left, and when the surface people soak you with it, they'll be able to freeze you solid this time. Ha ha ha.
And so Quisp is teasing the fire trolls and convincing them that freeze solution is being stockpiled on the island. Minutes later,
I taunted them as you told me to, Aquaman, and it worked.
Here they come. You lured them back to the island again, right where we want them.
They actually believed your phony story. They came back to destroy our huge supply of freeze chemical we're supposed to have stored here.
Now, here's where I go to work. Atop a squadron of flying fish, Aquaman goes airborne. Not much of this freeze solution left, but there's enough to give each troll a small dose of the stuff. And he's midair firing a freeze solution through a hose at the fire trolls. They're angry, trying to retaliate. But if my hunch is right, the rest of my plan will work too. Okay, Quist, now.
Here it goes.
And Quist launches his repelling ray again. Again, the incredible occurs as the colossal beings start to shrink. And before the bewildered trolls can move, grab them, quick.
This empty ammo box will hold them. It's flame-proof. They'd make novel pipe lighters, wouldn't they?
The contractor is now working with them. And they're gathering up the tiny trolls and putting them in ammo boxes. Afterward,
your hunch was right, Aquaman. It was the freak chemical reaction of the freeze solution and the sprite's power that caused the shrinkage.
Now let's finish our job. We'll toss the tiny trolls down into their volcano before the effect wears off, and then work on that fissure. Later, Aquaman and Aqualad boss an amazing work crew. That's it, gang. Bring more rocks. We have to fill up the fissure.
I might as well help by using my repeller beams to fit those big boulders into place.
And they've recruited the help of squid, octopi, and large fish to help bring rocks. Next, like Titanic tamps, whales ram forward. Hammer them again. Every rock and boulder has got to be wedged in securely. Finally, the job is done. At last, the fissure is sealed.
Zooks, the fire trolls are imprisoned forever.
Well, Quisp, this is goodbye.
Oh, we'll probably meet again. I enjoyed our adventure so much I'd like to go on another one with you sometime.
He's a nice little guy, but if we ever team up with that pixie again, who knows what might happen? Who knows indeed. That's the end of the main story. Then a backup story, Aquaman and Aqualad. An ancient map of an underwater trail leading to a fabulous and forbidden treasure, and strewn along the trail the deadly pitfalls of a long-gone sorcerer. These are the grim ingredients of an adventure that places Aquaman, king of the seven seas, in peril of his very life, as he tries to solve the mystery of the undersea safari.
Suffering sea lions, a strange underwater whirlpool is flinging us into that seafloor. Well, we'll be doomed, Aquaman.
And it's a whirlpool pulling them down. One day, as Aquaman and his young ally Aqualad returned from a maritime patrol.
Aquaman, we were told you sometimes come ashore on this beach. You must help us before our friend Professor Peter is doomed.
Oh, what trouble is he in?
The professor recently found a map of an underwater trail leading to an ancient treasure of sacred idols of pure gold, stolen by pirates centuries ago. According to the legend, the pirates were stopped on the high seas by a fantastic figure and...
Never again will evil men possess the idols of Eudora, for I shall hide them, and along the underwater trail I shall leave deadly traps for anyone who dares to seek them. So it looks to be a wizard of some type.
Somehow, the professor discovered an ancient map marking that trail, and he's gone after the idols. We must find him. But the sea is a big place. Where do we start searching for him? I managed to make a rough copy of the professor's map. Will it help?
It sure will. If you'll put on that skin diving gear of yours, we can start at once. Before long, as the undersea safari gets underway, according to this map, Aqualad, the trail starts alongside that underwater mountain. But no sooner do they reach the starting point than,
jumping jellyfish, we're all tangled up in these strange vines.
And look above, Aqualad, a sea slide.
It must be part of the ancient curse. We'll never untangle ourselves in time to escape.
Maybe we will, Aqualad. Quickly, Aquaman sends out a telepathic message to a nearby family of whales. Those whales have mere moments to carry out my command. They made it, formed a living tunnel around us. Now we can untangle ourselves and hit the trail again. Shortly, as they emerge from the tunnel of whales, signaled Jeffers and his friends to follow us, Aqualad. The map showed the trail veering south at this point. But next moment...
Great waves! We're trapped in an underwater whirlpool that came out of nowhere.
Like leaves in the wind, the aquatic adventurers are hurled downward until...
We've been drawn into a powerful current in the seafloor seam, leading into the core of the earth. We'll never get out of this, Aquaman.
Wait, that black ink, I wonder. A second telepathic summons brings instant aid. I figured that ink came from a giant squid. That's it, pal. Tug us all out. On go the undersea searchers, when abruptly, this is odd, the map shows the trail leading to the surface. Signal Jeffers that we're going topside, Aqualad. Shortly, why, the trail ends in that cave at the far end of the lagoon. Come on. And before long, Professor Peters, I see you finally found your treasure.
Your friends sure have been worried about you, sir, but how did you ever get past those pitfalls? Because the pitfalls were plainly marked on the original map, which I unearthed. But what friends are you talking about?
He's talking about us, Peters.
Great ghost! Jeffers is no friend of mine, Aquaman. He's a bandit who tried to stop me from presenting these golden idols to the museum, so he could get them for himself.
Then you tricked us into helping you get past those pitfalls.
Exactly. I figured if anyone could lead us safely to the treasure, you could, Aquaman. Okay, men, tie him up. And soon. First, we'll get these idols ready for shipping. Then we'll take care of our prisoners for good. Can't you stop them, Aquaman?
Well, I've got one idea that might work. Listen. And they're whispering to one another. Brief moments later.
Jeffers, look, a mysterious wall shut up the cave. Yipes, now it's coming at us. We'll be crushed.
It must be the final pitfall set by that ancient sorcerer.
Peters, you said the original map told you how to escape the pitfall. Save us, save us. Certainly, if you untie me and my friends.
But the instant they are freed, let's go to work, Aqualad. With pleasure. They bum rush the bandits.
You fools! While you're fighting with us, the wall's still closing in and will crush us all.
Relax, Jeffers. That wall is actually an upended raft, which I'd seen in the lagoon, being pushed forward by some of my finny friends. Let's go, Professor. We'll help you cart your golden idols to the museum. Yes, and these crooks to jail. And that is the end of issue number 1. I enjoyed reading that. I hope you enjoyed listening. And if you did, I would encourage you to subscribe and hit the notification bell. That way you'll be alerted as soon as I release new recordings. Thumbs up and comments are always appreciated. And remember, we're taking over the world one comic book at a time.